That's it from me. Bye-bye.
This is BBC News. I'm Reeta Chakrabarti. The headlines. The government breaks 2 election manifesto commitments, but Boris Johnson says extraordinary circumstances mean taxes will rise to pay for major reforms to health and social care in England. Boris Johnson said the plan to reform the social care system will relieve people of the fear of financial ruin.
We're doing something that frankly should have been done a long time ago, and share the risk of these catastrophic care costs so that everyone is relieved of that fear of financial ruin.
He's putting a sticking plaster over gaping wounds which his party inflicted. He made that commitment on social care before the pandemic, and he said he would pay for it without raising taxes before the pandemic.
And coming up at 5:30, we'll look to answer some of your questions on the Prime Minister's social care plans in Your Questions Answered. And also this afternoon, ministers say they're suspending the so-called triple lock formula for annual increases to the state pension. Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon sets out her government's programme for the next year, including plans for a national care system and an independence referendum.
Implement what is arguably the most significant public service reform since the creation of the National Health Service.
And the rise of a new star in British tennis as 18-year-old Emma Raducanu smashes her way through the US Open. Good afternoon and welcome to BBC News. The Prime Minister has announced a long-awaited package of funding for the NHS and social care in England, breaking an election promise. Boris Johnson said that COVID had placed massive pressures on the NHS and national insurance contributions would rise from next April to help pay for the health service and the care system. The rise is highly controversial among Mr Johnson's own MPs, as the Conservative manifesto had pledged not to raise taxes. Labour called the proposals a sticking plaster over gaping wounds. Well, let's take a look now at the plans in some detail. There'll be a rise of 1.25 percentage points in national insurance rates for both employees and employers from April 2022. That means that someone earning £30,000 per year would pay an extra £255 annually. And from 2023, this is to be known as the Health and Social Care Levy. For the first time, the increase will also be paid by workers who've reached retirement age. The Prime Minister said the new Health and Social Care Levy would raise £36 billion over 3 years to help tackle record NHS waiting lists. There are also announcements on social care costs. Lifetime individual contributions are to be capped at £86,000, the maximum that anyone will pay for care. No one with assets below £20,000 will have to pay for their social care costs. And there's to be means-tested help from the state for those with assets between £20,000 and £100,000. The government is also increasing the tax on dividends. That's income from shares or limited companies by 1.25 percentage points. Well, with a roundup of the announcement, here is our political correspondent, Ione Wells.